I just got one word to start off this podcast. You. Come on, T.
I
I remember
refuse. Fine.
we done did it.
Fine.
He did
Just to
it.
make sense.
He did it. Welcome to Tables, Ladders, and Bumps, a wrestling podcast where we give what's poppin' in our world of Raw and SmackDown, and we also give a 3 count, which are the three most pressing issues to us as far as wrestling goes. But before we go on, if you're into this content of wrestling and wrestle talk, smash that subscribe button. Check out our profiles. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. Help us get some followers. Let's get it going. We're here to converse and talk with you, and then we'll even do a live as well. So let's get it started with what's poppin'. Pierre, you started? Oh, we're doing what's poppin'. Pierre, what are you doing for your what's poppin'?
What's popping? For my what's popping, I got the Roman Cody segment from SmackDown. Um, so much was said about last year doing WrestleMania build up was about cinema, and there's always was cinema, and I felt like that again was the feeling of that promo, the way it was shot. I can do without the music, that music that led into it, into the
Oh my
storm, whatever that
god.
was. I can
So
do without that.
bad.
But
So
the song that was
bad.
kind of like playing throughout it, that was okay. But that other song that was trash. But I did love the filming of it, the cinematography of it, just how it was just shot, and we got the message from both sides and the feeling, and it's kind of like a full circle moment. So I just guess I just wanted to see what you guys' take and feel about that segment was.
Marlon, you go first on
That
this.
song was hot garbage. I was like, we couldn't pay for licensing for another song. Like
I
this is what
thought
you guys had in the
They spent the
inventory.
budget on Megan Thee Stallion.
I thought whose family member made this song? That's what I was thinking. It was just so it was like Christian like worship music in the beginning, and then there's a rap verse in it. And I'm like, what is going on here? It was so terrible. Yeah, go ahead, Marlon.
When I learned that it was Paul Heyman, I got nothing much to say. I didn't pay attention 100%, but I kind of caught it. But I learned that Paul Heyman was one of the writers for that. It made total sense because Paul Heyman's always got these stoic one-liners that make you think for a second, whether he's on a Forbes interview or on ESPN or in the WWE. He has you in a profound state. So I feel like after knowing that, I understand why it was the way it was. But other than that, I don't know why I didn't get my juices flowing for this. What about you, Wade?
I didn't like it very much. Like, I mean, it was fine. I think just the beginning, well, one, the music really took me out of it. Like we talked about, it was just if I could pick an exact type of song that makes me want to punch a wall in anger, it's that. So we're like starting off with that, and then it's like it's shot like it's Friday Night Lights also, which made it kind of corny to me a little bit. But I'm gonna say Cody and Roman's facial expressions and their actual acting is really good, and they have really good chemistry with each other. So that's
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say that the lines with like Roman in the beginning where he's like, "Oh, I had blood, sweat, and tears on this field," and all this stuff. Like, so this makes it my city and my state, and it's like, what? Like, this is kind of stupid. Like, it's not like you were won a national championship for Georgia Tech. Like, I know he was like pretty good, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's not like he was
Yeah.
like the Rock at Miami, which is actually like a really good at. I don't even know if they were good. I think they were good when the Rock was there, right?
He,
At Miami.
I think he was on a team with like one step. He had a squad. There was
Yeah,
like
that's like a
yeah,
and I know Roman got accolades for like being good
yeah.
for like his, but so some of that, and Cody was a state champion in wrestling in Georgia. So I'm sitting there and like that's not brought up, and I guess maybe it's my bias as like a wrestler, but I'm like, okay, well he actually like won the whole state. And last I checked, Georgia Tech is not the best football team in the state. So let's get that out of here. Like we all know Georgia Bulldogs whoop that ass every time. So just like that whole part in the beginning where they're like trying to do the dick measuring thing, I was like, okay, whatever. But once they got into that and it focused more on their acting and their chemistry, I got pretty into it, which is saying a lot because it could not have started off worse for me with the music, then going into the lame like this is my blood, sweat, and tears on this field thing, and like I'm sitting there like Cody's is more representing the state, and then they get into the stuff I liked, and I thought that was really good, like the "You're in My Way" thing,
Yeah,
like
in
that
my
that
way of
was
life. Yeah.
yeah, that was great, and yeah, they're just to me they're so good they can make the corniest song and corniest lines in the beginning of that thing. Still, like I was still like drawn into it, even though
Yeah.
I was annoyed. And then I had
Yeah.
to watch it again on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. I like that sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cody was the one actually spitting that verse at the beginning. That was him. And
I
Roman was,
wouldn't be. I wouldn't be shocked.
real quick, Crystal watched that yesterday. My wife, she watched that at Monday Night Raw last night. And when we were leaving, it was like kind of like quiet in the car because we were probably, she goes, wow, that Cody guy doesn't even look real. He looks like AI.
Yeah,
And she was like, they all just look like these unreal like meme people or people who are like you would see in a meme generation. And and I was like, yeah, they cleaned them up very well. She's like, there's like no flaws on any of these people. It's crazy. That was an interesting observation. Really think about that.
that's how I look in my
No, it's
bathing
different.
suit.
But who's next? Someone go. Who's next? What's popping?
I
um
I could go next.
okay.
All
Uh,
right, cool.
unless Marlon, you really want to, but I don't think you care.
Well, doesn't yours transition into three
No,
count? Okay.
it doesn't.
All right. All right, I'll just go. I got to
Yeah.
get it off my chest.
Okay.
My meat-filled chest because there was a lot of meat slapping going on at Monday Night
We're gonna
Raw.
we're gonna
They
lose all
even
our
had
subscribers.
they even No, man, from the beginning of Monday Night Raw last night
Hell yeah.
when
That
Dom
was
and
great.
Liv pulled up and you just see this accident or this just collision happen between Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed to start the show off. That and then Wade, you called it. You're like they're going to be fighting throughout the show,
Yeah.
and it's exactly what happened. So I love the again week after week. Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman are taking it to the next level, and they did
Mhm.
it once again this week. What did you guys think of this week's interaction when they were, as Joe put it, elephants being attacked by ants with a security guard? What did you guys think of this week's interaction with Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman?
You can go ahead, Pierre.
Good. I so is it hasn't been an interaction where I haven't liked. I did like last week a little bit more just because they destroyed the ring and it was a little
Yeah.
crazier. This week was still good. Um, but dude, we didn't destroy the ring. We destroyed the backstage area. We didn't destroy like 85 security guards. The security guards started looking like the Putty Patrol from Power Rangers.
Yeah,
Um, so I mean,
yeah.
So
it's cool to
accurate.
see what they're doing. It's cool to see what they're doing. I'm loving what they're doing. And at a time where I was like, man, it's time to get rid of Braun Strowman. And it's like they're not doing it with Bronson Reed. And now to see they started building with Bronson Reed, and now they building with Braun Strowman, and it's like, yo, you finally are using these guys that they should, and I'm happy to see that. Like, I want to see what this last man standing match is actually. I wish this could be bad blood, but I know we need matches for Raw. So I mean, last man standing on Raw is gonna be great. I think so. I don't know, but you got to wait.
I wasn't a fan of them picking Last Man Standing, but I think they're gonna do that outside the ring. So now that I've thought
Mm.
about it more, I've thought, okay, that could be kind of badass. Like they're gonna be hitting each other in the head with poles and stuff. I'm assuming. So I'm all about that. One of the security guards is in my wrestling club thing that I'm doing right now. So shout out to him. I saw him get thrown one time, but yeah, I really liked the um the segment. It wasn't as good as last week. Last
Mhm.
week was an 11 out of 10. This is like an 8 out of 10 in my opinion. Most importantly, you get Karrion Cross was involved because he's kind of talking up Miz, and Miz is probably going to get fatality next week by one of these guys. So I'm here for that. But yeah, I was rocking my Bronson Reed shirt. Only person in the whole arena I
I
saw with a
believe you
Bronson Reed
were.
shirt.
I think
We
that's
did,
so true.
we did not see one. I thought, man, there's got to be at least one other guy out of like these 6,000 people. Nope, only one. So apparently Ontario has no taste. Uh, but yeah, I'm excited for this. This is honestly the thing I've enjoyed most
Yeah.
on
Mhm.
Raw for like a month.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I I don't care about Wyatt's at all really, but
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is like been the real storyline. And guys, I believe that Bronson Reed shirts are still on clearance at $9.99 on the WWE shop. If you guys are interested in rocking big Bronson Reed shirts, so yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for next week.
Heck yeah. Yeah, me too. Especially because if we're expecting backstage brawls and parking lot brawls, like they
Oh,
just gotta step it up even more if it's gonna be
flamethrower.
flame.
Fucking crossover. Someone's gonna get cross flipped on top of him.
Someone's gonna get power bombed through a Tesla truck, a Cybertruck.
Oh gosh,
Yeah. All right. Let us know what
probably.
you guys think. Let us know what you guys think about the um, last monster standing. So technically, it's not a last man standing. It's the
Yeah.
last monster standing. So let us know what y'all think about the upcoming match next week, and what do you think about the Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman rivalries thus so far. All right, Wade, what do you got for your what's popping?
I just wanted to shout out American Made because I'm
Woo!
actually big fans of the I don't like the suit thing very much. I don't think it fit them,
Mhm.
but now that they are like dumb jocks kind of, I'm like I'm super into it now. I believe I was the only person cheering for them at Raw last night. Which I was like up there, I was like standing when they won and I had my fist up and I'm like the only white person around too, and I'm like, I kind of look racist right now because I'm cheering for them. I'm like, is this like bad? But yeah, I think the only other one was Marlon's daughter was cheering for him with me at one point. But yeah, it was basically no one. Everyone was rooting against them. But I like the character change. I like that they're through this Uncle Howdy
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
And the booking was correct. They should have beaten the New Day because of what they're leading to with the New Day. It makes sense. And I think there's hope for them as a group because anytime you start a new group or a stable and then they right away get their ass beat, it's not a great start.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because they got started and everyone was pumped. A lot of people have been looking forward to Chad Gable with the Creeds.
Yeah. I
And
think we are. Yeah, we all of us were.
yeah, like I feel like the wrestling community was overall too, like thought, oh, this is gonna be sick, and then they get stuck with the Wyatts. And I feel like they came out fine for that. I don't
Mhm.
know if any other group would have survived that and
Yeah.
Right.
still looked. But I like Brutus, just like being super weird, laughing at him, laughing at New Day, calling them nerds for playing video games. So yeah, I'm into the group a lot, and it's not even though it's all super American flag stuff, it doesn't give the same like storming the Capitol vibe that Cody's stuff gives.
Yeah.
So it just seems like patriotic like meatheads, which I like.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. Where like Cody, I feel slightly uncomfortable when I see like his people wearing his merch or like I would not buy a single thing of it. So
What do you got, Pierre?
No, do I like the change with American Made. I am happy that they're out of the Y16, and I'm my gripe with them before was the singlets, and I thought they were too plain, they were too boring, they didn't really have personality really, and now they do. I
Those
like the
things are
change of everything.
clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's smooth about them. Like say, I agree with you. I don't like this whole like suit thing really. But everything else about them, I like what they're doing. I hope that they can get to the next level and win some tag team gold. Like I think they're one of the tag teams that can change the division and make it relevant again. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm here for the American Made.
Yeah. I do like and I hope they run with the whole 80s, 90s jock trope and they pick on other people backstage for whatever they're doing, that it isn't like a jock type of thing, like whoever
Mhm.
plays video games or whatever it is that other people do that they could rip on. I hope they run with that because Brutus was hilarious about that. And you and I, Wade, were talking about it at the show last night about how the Brutus ball finisher is so dangerous when
Yeah,
they did it. There's
You
absolutely
can,
no control.
there's no way you could not hurt someone with that thing.
Yeah. And
Or
I couldn't,
yourself.
yeah, exactly. And I want to rewatch the show from a TV standpoint because it looked like he just fell completely flat on
that's what it look like.
on on Xavier
Woods.
Woods, right?
Yeah.
Like all of his shoulder just drove right into Woods' chest. So I got to rewatch it. But there's no control. I remember that one week Damian Priest was pissed because they fell like right on his head. So I like American Made. I do think their uniforms are subtle, yet they get the point across. And if they could just run with the whole jock trope, I think that'll be super sweet. All right, that's our segment for what's poppin'. Let us know what you guys think about American Made, where they're going, and if they're even a good stable in your eyes, or if they're the worst thing to ever come out of Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. All right, let's move on to the 3 count. Who wants to start this one off?
That's me.
Wait, let's
So,
do it.
well, yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm starting to, this thing's from Raw. So,
Yeah.
uh, obviously, want to talk about Jey Uso, winning, which I think everyone who watches this podcast knows I'm not a huge Jey Uso fan. But I had even come to grips that I was fine with him winning this. But in the crowd, it was pretty wild being there, and because there's barely ever title changes on like Raw. It's almost always PLEs now. They almost never do them.
Mhm.
Like an actual title, I cannot remember the last time. Can you? Like, and I'm not counting
No.
women's tag.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the first one
Oh,
that came to mind.
yeah, that's the first thing that came to mind was that, and maybe the men's tag team titles. That was
Oh
like
yeah,
a while ago though.
singles. I don't.
It was no.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, I mean on Raw, I don't think any singles has been. It's been maybe over a year or two,
Yeah,
I would guess. So because Gunther had Intercontinental for like 2 years almost. So
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, I'm just yeah, it was a cool experience, I have to say. Even though I
Yeah.
didn't want him to win, and just seeing how excited like all the little kids were that Jey Uso won and all that stuff, and witnessing it, even I like was like, okay, that's pretty cool, and I'm kind of a hater a little bit, but I want to know what you guys thought of that moment. Marlon, I saw you cry. But I also want to know who you guys think wins the Intercontinental title next.
Okay.
Wins,
Go ahead, go
not just
Brian.
competes, wins.
Wins, no, it takes it from Jey Uso.
Oof, man, that's a tough one. Well, it was a great moment. Obviously, I was there sharing the moment with you, my family. My daughter was there. She's into Jey Uso. She was all yeeted out with her gear. So that was fun to watch and witness, and I'm glad she got to experience that. Um, God, who wins against Jey Uso? I'll tell you who I want to win against Jey Uso for the IC. I want Ilya Dragunov to do it.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Um, Other than that, it could go back to Braun Breaker, Ludwig Kaiser. Those are like my people
Oh,
who
that's
have
that's
it.
a good one actually.
Those are the
Yeah,
people who I have in my pool. We talked about the whole men's mid card title right now. Braun Breaker, Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, Pete Dunne, Ludwig Kaiser, and Sheamus.
Bronson
Bronson
Reed.
Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are my guesses for contenders, but I would want Ilya Dragunov to get it. What about you, Pierre?
Um, let's say I just finished watching because he had a busy weekend. So before we, hopped on, so I'm still like eating up, eat run through my veins like adrenaline. Um, for me to watch it because I think with me and Wade are on opposite ends of the Uso spectrum.
Mhm.
So I think the thing was a long time ago where I said I think he was deserving of it. I think he's done enough, and I feel like it's come to that point, with him. So like to watch that and to watch him be Uso painted up in the war paint, and they come out and do the entrances that way. Then they go to the Uso Penitentiary. Then they go to the right hand man. Then to be main event Jey Uso, and now to be the Yeet Master / main event Jey Uso and win the IC title. Like I'm happy for that. Like I think it's an amazing moment. Um, I wish the celebration would have lasted a little bit longer. I can't wait for Netflix. Sorry, but if his celebration got cut off, so I don't think he really got the full feeling of it. But who I think is gonna win, I
We
think it's
do
gonna be
have
Braun
it on
Breaker.
our channel, by the way,
I was
guys.
just
I
gonna
have
say
I have
that.
put to those videos if you want to see the shorts. I do have the
We,
celebration on there. So
we got a couple of them up there.
Yes, yes. So make sure you check out the channel. That's when you guys gotta watch. We got exclusives. We got stuff you didn't see on Monday Night Raw because you were watching USA and they cut it off right
That's
at 10
right.
o'clock to show you some stupid circle thing
I hate that
anonymous
show. Yeah, I hate that thing.
game show.
I watched 3
But
episodes.
no,
It's terrible.
I got Braun Breaker running it back.
Okay.
That's why I got winning it back. Probably Bad Blood. I can see Braun Breaker in Atlanta versus Jey Uso running it back again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a
Okay.
series too. I think it'll be a series also.
Well, I have one that you guys. I thought you guys would pick. Honestly, those two people is what I thought. Marlon would pick Ilya Dragunov, and I thought you would pick Braun Breaker back. I have one that I think makes the most sense, and that's Xavier Woods. Who'd he say? I didn't hear what he said.
Odyssey Jones.
Oh, yeah, no, he's out. But
Xavier
you might
Woods.
Xavier Woods
That's a
because
good
he's
one.
never won.
Good one.
He's never
Yeah.
won. And that's kind of like the whole thing with his character right now that's going on. He's basically going through everything Jay went through,
Yeah.
but he in the heel way of like, okay, like I'm done with all this crap, and like he's trying to become a more serious wrestler where Jay became a more silly wrestler, to be honest. And I like Xavier Woods' whole arc right now is the antithesis to Jey Uso, but
Yeah.
the goal is exactly the same. So I think it would be really cool if, and all the history with New Day and the Usos, I think that would be a
Yeah.
really cool.
That's a good pick.
Like
That's a real good pick.
I was wanting like Chad Gable, but like I'm kind of over like that just may never happen. But I think Xavier's probably he deserves it in my opinion. I think even more than Jey Uso because Xavier Woods has 6 singles matches all the time. And
Yeah.
like although this was Jay's best match, I think, like singles that I could think of. This was really good.
And when I was watching it, I was trying to watch it from that standpoint too, not as just like a fan of Jey Uso, but actually like watching a good wrestling match. And I think they really did a good storytelling back and forth, or Jay taking a lot of punishment and then coming out on top, still. So that was real cool.
Yeah.
I think Braun Breaker's selling and being able to go through the match needs credit too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of Braun's better matches too, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was we need to talk about main event Jay. And he did main event and win the title in the main event. So
He earned his name.
I give him crap, but hey, he had a good
Yeah.
match, and even I got swept up in it, and I'm not a Jey Uso fan. So you did a good job. If you get me kind of I'm like, it'd be kind of cool if he won. I started thinking that in my head. I'm like, he might do it. Even if you turn me a little bit, like that's impressive because don't like his matches. So that's
We got to put the video up of Wade yeeting. I think I got it on video.
I even
Yes.
yeeted. Yeah, I even
Yes.
yeeted.
All right, Pierre, what do you got for
Go ahead.
your? What you want me to do? All right, let's go.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead real quick.
Mine is super random, but it's kind of simple. Paul Heyman said that if somebody is not into wrestling, there's no convincing them. And my question to you guys is, if somebody is not into wrestling, one, do you try to convince them? Or, and if you do, what do you think is the best way to have somebody become a wrestling fan?
I'll go because I don't know where Pierre is. So for me, oh, he's got his pizza. Okay, is it Chicago style or deep dish?
Uh, kind of like little square.
Oh,
Oh,
that
nice.
kind.
Thin
Okay,
crust.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I will explain it this way. Like I think yes, obviously you can get someone into unless they just hate all sports and like only want to read a book and can't watch TV, then sure, like then I would say that type of person can't get into it. But there's so much different types of wrestling. Like if someone likes sports at all or acting or you know what I mean, I'm not going to say cinema, but like theater, I would say more so because the acting is more over the top.
Yeah.
I think there's a way to get them into it. It's kind of this is gonna sound like it's unrelated, but I feel like I people have a stigma with wrestling and with anime that both of them are like they're like kind of this weird niche thing, and oh, they like for anime, it's just like oh these you mean Dragon Ball Z type of battle stuff, and then same for wrestling, it's like oh these dumb like huge super jack guys on steroids that just like hit each other and grunt and like are all oiled up, and it's like okay, well yes, that is part of those things, but there's so much more to it. Where like you mean anime, they have all the slice of life, romance, any type of show you like, they have that in anime. And same
Right.
with any type of storyline you like, they
Yeah.
have that in wrestling too. So if you want, like, we had the soap opera stuff with the Judgment Day
Yeah.
earlier with
Mm-hmm.
Liv and all that. We were all hot and bothered with that stuff, and then it's leading to Dominic in a cage, so even better. And you have all the stuff with CM Punk and all that, which is kind of corny a little bit with the bracelet. So like it's a lot of people watch a lot of corny shows. You got that.
Yeah.
Uh if you want super real like intense like you're like I like HBO and I want my stuff super violent and gritty. You got AEW for that where you're going to see
Mm-hmm.
people bleeding and stuff. So and then if you just like seeing super athletic people, you got all the lucha stuff. So there's kind of something for everyone and
Mhm.
storyline wise, and especially now that you have WWE and AEW which push each other to be better. Like the storytelling is really good, and if you like stories, you can like wrestling. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you're a feminist, they got girls matches. You know what I mean? There's a lot of a lot of stuff. Or a pervert.
Exactly.
Either way, yeah. They both hate each other, but they both you can watch some super athletic girls kick each other's butts. So
What about you, Pierre? What do you think? Can you convince somebody to become a wrestling fan? And if so, what's the best way to do it?
So I want to like compare wrestling to like music, right? So like depending on like you like extreme like heavy metal or like country music or something like that. I just say rap hip hop, right? You can go to a rap concert and you can see people all different nationalities, diversity, just so diverse in the crowd. You know, like I went to Lollapalooza one time before out here, and it was at Eminem was performing, and it's 80,000 people, and we all rapping Eminem. And I'm looking at them left to right, and I'm seeing all type of people, you know, white, whatever the case may be, and even like our podcast. Like, look at us, like we're
Hmm.
all three different guys, different races, and we're all into wrestling. We all come from different backgrounds, and I think that just wrestling just brings people together. Like you look in the crowd, you can see all type of people in the crowd.
Yes.
So unless you like Wade said, unless you just totally just hate certain things, like there's something for everyone in wrestling. Uh, you get comedic stuff when you get our truth out there is
Mm.
being our truth. Like that's great. Like you say, you go to AEW and you get extreme stuff. Or you get we don't even have to stick to the extreme stuff. You just get a different side of wrestling. Like when MJF comes out,
Mm-hmm.
just the way he delivers stuff. His promos or whatnot. You get different styles of wrestling in general. You say Lucha Libre. You get people like Daniel Bryan out there wrestling. You get John Moxley. You get Undertaker style. It's so much in wrestling that you can get that you just don't have to be stuck on one thing. It's like, oh man, well, I like this type of wrestling. That's all I'm here for. But it can appeal to so many different people and of all ages. Like, yo, I've been a wrestling fan since I was like 7. And
Mm-hmm.
you can see people who've been wrestling fans all their life, and it passes on to their children. Because they
Mhm.
get them into it. So I feel like it's hard to say unless you don't have an open mind. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard to be like, man, I can't convince someone not be into wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, great answers, guys. I feel like there really is something for everybody in wrestling. I was even watching, my wife really is into it, isn't really not into it, but she tolerates it because my daughter is into it. But I was watching my wife at the show, and there were moments where she was just like in wonder and awe, especially when Bronson Reed and
Oh yeah.
Braun Strowman were going at it, and also the Jey Uso match. Like she was actually like filming and recording. So I feel like there really is something out there for everybody in wrestling. If I were to give a definitive, like finite answer of the best way to get somebody into wrestling is you bring them to a show
Yeah.
and you bring them to a live show. And I'll speak for like testimony wise, like Thomas, he didn't really bring me, but he encouraged me to go to an ROH show in Philly. That if he didn't tell me about it, it would have never been on my radar to go to that. Um, but when I went, I had this whole new level of respect for multiple tiers of wrestling, not just the glitz and glamour of the Fed, right? I respect so much more of what they do in AEW and in AEW's minor leagues and whomever else, all these like to a typical WWE fan, like these obscure unknown people. But these people are great at what they do. So just
Mhm.
by Wade inviting me to Ring of Honor, I enjoy another type of wrestling. I'm afraid to go to an AEW show because I might go all in.
I
Uh,
like we went to GCW, which is like insane.
yes, that too.
The GCW
So
one. Don't if you're gonna take people to their first show, maybe not GCW unless they're sicko.
or
Like maybe
maybe GCW because
yeah,
you're so close to the wrestlers. Like they're literally
that is true.
you're literally like high fiving them and slapping them before and after their matches. When GCW
Mhm.
came around, when it was coming around, I invited all my friends who aren't wrestling fans. I'm like, here's an indie show. It's super cheap. I'll cover your ticket. And they turned me down. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess, they don't want to go around this time. And when Raw came around this time, I asked them the same thing. I'll buy you a ticket. So
They didn't know about Megan Bain, that's why.
that's true. And now they won't be able to see Zilla wrestle in GCW.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that for me is a definitive answer is if you're going to invite somebody, bring them to a show if you're able to, pay for their ticket, and I think that will help them get into the fandom more so than anything. All right, Pierre, what do you got for your 3 count?
All right. So for my 3 count, I feel like throughout the dawn of time for wrestling, there's been referees, right? And
Uh-huh.
referees have always played a crucial part in matches. A lot of times they're not supposed to even be there. You're not supposed to notice them, but sometimes they're
Yeah.
part of matches where they get knocked out instantly. You tap them and then they pass out for the next like 5 minutes, or somehow they instantly get distracted by the simplest things and they miss stuff that's going on. Um, and maybe now just recently in the last couple of weeks is like I saw the match between the New Day and the Judgment Day where the ref was outside the ring and
That's
Jay
so
Woods had the
bad.
pin, had the victory, you know. And then we get to that 6-man tag between the Bloodline and what was it, Kevin Owens and Street Profits,
Mhm.
and DQ. And I'm like what? Like like it ended in a DQ that makes no sense. Or do we get to the match between Gunther and Randy Orton at Bash of Berlin, and they outside the ring for like 5 minutes fighting, with no rope break and nothing like that, stopping the count. And I don't know, the logic behind referees just don't make sense anymore. And I'm almost to the point I want to just get rid of referees. So I don't know, what did you guys take and feel on the job refs have been doing lately in professional wrestling?
What are you gonna just put in sex robots and like make them
I
referees?
don't
Like, what are
know.
you gonna do? Like, what's
I
your
don't know,
thing
but
to
I'm just getting
replace
tired
it?
of
I
Boston
oh I
Scientific.
I think it's more of a WWE thing, uh, than like a. I mean, refs sometimes do dumb stuff in AEW, but I think it's more of a the the one with Kevin Owens was that actually made no sense because he
it.
threw him into the steps, which is illegal. I don't think that's illegal. If you
It's
grab the
not.
steps and hit someone with the
Yeah.
steps, then that's illegal.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
Cody did to Brock Lesnar and didn't get disqualified in their match, by the way. But
Yeah.
I guess it's allowed on Brock Lesnar because it's him. But yeah, like that actually, there should not have been a disqualification in that. But I think, the refs have like other purposes than actually refing the match, like in the like because I've like when I've done practice matches and you have someone that actually is refed and they know what they're doing, they'll like
Yeah, I know they keep time and stuff like that and
they
help
keep
match
time and they'll like
progress and
talk
stuff.
you
Yeah.
through like, hey, like they kind of know what's going on and like a good ref can kind of help you through stuff, especially like someone like me who's a jabroni and doesn't know what he's doing. So I mean, I just don't think that there's an option other than a robot that I don't think there's a good enough robot to not make a mistake. And I don't
But do
want
you
it
think
to be
they
like
should
the
get rid of some of those
NFL.
rest spots?
Well, they should do fewer of them, which like
Yeah.
WWE has because it used to be really crazy, and now it's better. But AEW doesn't like the refs aren't it nearly as involved, in my opinion, as WWE. But I think WWE's got better with it. Uh, I just accept it. I think it's funny most of the time when they miss stuff, like with the Xavier Woods thing, and everyone was booing next to us in the stands, and I'm like, "Hey, it's his. The ref didn't see it, man. What the heck? Like, it's not
Yeah.
his fault."
Yeah.
So
If we're
what?
if we're gonna take the ref at face value of what it is an official in a competitive sport. And if you were to transpose that to the NFL or the NBA
Yeah,
or an umpire in baseball, they're gonna make mistakes, right?
you're
I don't want
supposed
to
to
be
hate him.
yeah, exactly. It's a thankless job. It's a thankless job. No one ever says, "Oh, thank God the ref, made that play or made that call." Um, and we've seen it in every form of every sport that there is. So for me, you're right, Bear. Like it's annoying how they're inconsistent. Like what the hell was the ref doing outside of the ring in that New Day match last week?
That was
Well,
idiotic.
yeah.
I don't. That was
Yeah,
like the dumbest one,
like you'll
other than
never see that
the
happen.
yeah.
Or how
And
many
that was
times
like
is
I never seen that guy either. So I think he's an NXT ref, but they brought him up just to look like an idiot and then sent him back down.
so yeah, that's my take. It's like you if you got to take it as sports or sports entertainment, then there are going to be refs that make good calls and refs that make bad calls, just like we do in any other sport.
No, I feel that. So I don't know, man. I think sometimes it's a little like too extreme with the like say the New Day. And I think too what made it worse was like I'm watching and you get the tag that the missed tag between
Yeah.
Kofi and Xavier Woods
He,
and Joe Tessitore just going crazy. He's like, he pulling at the tag, and I was like, I gotta take it back. Joe has gotten better in the
I knew
last
you
couple of
would
weeks.
like him. I was waiting to hear you take that back. I'm like, dude, you gave him like 1 week and then you're hating on him hardcore.
He really has though, Pierre. He really
Yeah,
has gotten better. Like the last 2 weeks
I
he's
can
been
tell you he
killing
put
them.
the work in. He's put the work
Yeah.
in. So
Yeah,
shouts to Joe.
he's studying the. tapes at home. He's
Uh,
he's he's sounding good.
you guys remember when they had the refs were on strike in the NFL and then they had all the like doof magoo refs and then there
Yeah.
was one extra terrible call and then they brought all the refs back. I'm actually related to that terrible ref that made that call. He's like related to me, like a third cousin or something. Like I've met him before, and then someone's like, "Dude, that's our cousin." He literally changed the NFL back. They're like, "These guys suck."
You gotta thank him, man. You gotta thank him to
Yeah, what a
save
great
football.
contribution. What a great
Yeah.
contribution to professional sports. That was a good one though, Pierre. I feel like, people may be agreeing with you with the whole ref doof magooza right now in WWE. What do you guys think about referees in wrestling? Do you feel like they're too involved? Do you feel like they're not involved enough? And what do you think about the inconsistencies with the refs' calls in wrestling? All right, that is our segment for the 3 count. Does anybody have a tinfoil theory today? You do? You got 2?
Who?
You. Oh, I thought you were
No,
throwing. I thought
I
you
was
said.
going 3.
Oh yeah,
I
nice.
was on 3. No, I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing this week. I've been a busy week. I haven't had time to sit down and ponder on
Right,
conspiracies this week.
right, right. What about you, Wade?
All my conspiracies are unwrestling related, so I need some more time to think about it. I do want to give a shout out to my buddy Charles, who gave us some sweet footage that we're getting a lot of new subscribers to. So
Woo.
if you're new because
Nice.
of that, thank you, and it's thanks to Charles. I've only put up one of like 10 videos he sent me, so we're gonna be hopefully popping off here. But yeah, he was second row, and happy belated birthday to him because he got the tickets from a birthday gift. So shout out
Oh
to
my
my
Charles,
boy
goodness.
Charles. Yeah.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you, thank you. All right, is that our show for this week then?
do we have a debate or no?
Wrapping it up. I got hangover from last night from the Raw, so I didn't think of a debate topic this week.
I got one.
All
All
right,
right, I'm
I got one
down.
for you guys.
let's do it.
Okay. So it's not really a debate. Let me say that then. It's more of an idea of who, like, so I got
Is
if
is this a
Randy Orton was
concept
in
of a plan?
AEW. I got if Orton was in AEW,
Oh
who do you
god.
guys like to see him match up against? Give
Oh,
me
okay.
like 3 opponents.
If Orton was in AEW, who would I
Hmm.
like to see him match up against? Ooh.
I'd laugh if Marlon picks all people who were in WWE
WWE?
before.
I'm trying to think outside the box. I would like to see anybody go up against Bryan Danielson, though.
I mean, him and Danielson have wrestled a million times, so that's a terrible pick. Uh, although in AEW, that's a different type of match.
Hmm.
So I got uh, first pick for me, Darby Allin. I think that'd be interesting, like especially if he's game to just do the crazy stuff or let Darby do the crazy stuff and just
Yeah.
imagine the RKO that Darby would take. He'd do like a triple front flip through glass and then get RKO'd through more glass, probably. Like that would be the craziest thing I ever seen in my life. So uh he's my first pick. Then I would say Kenny Omega. Because Kenny Omega can have a good match with that. But him people say Randy could have a good match with anyone. I've seen Randy have a lot of boring matches that I don't like, and I would say majority of his matches are boring and I don't like them. But I think him and Kenny Omega could have a really good match. And then my last pick, I'm trying to. Oh, I got one. The Beast Mortos. That guy, I want to see him just wrestle everyone. The Beast Mortos. If you guys have not watched him wrestle, you need to watch his match against Hologram in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
I almost picked Osprey, but Osprey's a
Hmm.
bit similar to Kenny Omega, and I like Kenny Omega a little bit more. So I try to pick
Okay.
3 totally different kind of
Styles.
styles. Yeah.
Okay. Nice, 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 nice. Cool.
Tony
Yeah, this is
Storm.
hard for me. Tony Storm. I would say Hangman Page. I think
Oh,
I
that's
would
a good
enjoy that
one.
match. Um, I would like to
MJF.
see, I see one of the Young Bucks. I don't
MJF.
know which one. Yeah, MJF would be good
MJF
too.
is good. I don't know
Yeah,
why I didn't think of him. That'd
yeah,
be a really
MJF
good
would be good.
match.
Um,
Who's heel in that match?
MJF.
MJF.
Okay.
He could be babyface, but either could be either way. Like MJF actually plays a good babyface, I think.
Hmm.
But he's an awesome heel.
Hmm.
And just kind of the hope spots of Randy like trying to go for an RKO and MJF just like cheating constantly to prevent it from happening would be uh pretty awesome, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I think those are my picks.
Swerve would be awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Although
Cool.
they never did, right? When Swerve is so much better than when he was in NXT, but um
Do you
I
think
don't think they
he was
ever.
better when he was in NXT?
No. He's so much better than when he was
Now.
in
Oh
NXT.
yeah,
Like he's
yeah.
Swerve is
Okay.
like top 5 wrestler in the world for any company. I'd say at this point.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
or top. I mean, at least 10. If you don't have him in top 10, I think you're crazy for sure. So he's awesome. But yeah, good call on that Pierre with MJF because that. I mean, I was just thinking of crazy things to see though. Where like I think spectacle wise.
Yeah.
Darby, Kenny Omega, and the Beast Mortos is like, how the heck is that gonna look with Randy?
Yeah.
No. That's what I got though. Like I ain't got a. They say I don't have a real debate or theory this week. Next week, I'll be ready. I have more time to sit down and ponder and think about crazy stuff. But yeah,
My
man,
Xavier
that's the
Woods
show.
thing was kind of my
That's a good
tinfoil
one.
Your
theory. Yeah, that
theory?
was kind
No,
of
that's
my
good.
tinfoil theory a little bit, but
Yeah, that's a real good one,
yeah.
actually. Yeah. But yeah, man, let's
Well,
wrap it up, man.
All right, yeah, that's our show for this week. If you like what you hear, if you want more content, go ahead and Uso splash that subscribe button. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.